Yet another week of madness. Let's get into the Week 8 review. These are two teams that have greatly subverted expectations this year, both falling well short of what everyone thought they could become. Tom Brady is going to war with his O-line after every single drive, and his wife off the field, which has resulted in the Bucs being horrible. Regardless, the Ravens took advantage of the Bucs at possibly their weakest point since Tom Brady came to them, and they won pretty easily, honestly. Little scare at the end, because that's what the Ravens do, but they got the job done. Keep going, Ravens, because you need every single win you can get. How many of you woke up for this game? Be honest. How many people woke up early in the morning to watch Russell Wilson play football? And for those of you that did make that decision, I'm sure you have a lot of regrets, because once again, Russell Wilson just stunk it up the entire game outside of like 1 or 2 drives and limped the Broncos into a win. And at least for the Jaguars, Travis Etienne finally showed why he can be the lead back and why he was a first-round pick long ago. But this was a tank bowl, wasn't it?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Arguably the two most fun teams in the entire league, the Dolphins and the Lions, with their high-powered offenses going at it for 60 minutes straight. And this game lived up to my hype at least, as after the Lions took a very early large lead, they blew it instantly because they're the Lions, and the Dolphins rallied behind Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle. That wide receiver duo is unstoppable, and maybe it's putting makeup on a pig with Tua, but who cares? The Dolphins are winning games, so it doesn't matter. The Dolphins have big play potential every time they take a snap. I really hope that the Dolphins make the playoffs just to make things a little bit more interesting. Please keep winning, Dolphins. Oh boy, where do I start? So, with Christian McCaffrey released from purgatory, as well as Chubba Hubbard being out with an injury, Dante Foreman got a full workload and took full advantage of that. For most of the game, it looked like it would just be a boring maybe 14-17 slugfest between two of the worst teams in the NFC South. But you gotta remember, whoever won this game actually went to first in the division, and after the second quarter ended, the guns started blazing. A total of 34 points were scored in the fourth quarter alone, among with some of these ridiculous plays. Every single ounce of logic went straight into the trash compactor the second that PJ Walker threw a Hail Mary to DJ Moore catching a supposed game-winning touchdown. But it's just one of those games, because after flinging his helmet off of his head getting a penalty, the Panthers then missed the extra point, sending the game into overtime. Now, the Falcons did start off with the ball, but some greater force felt bad for DJ Moore and gave the Panthers a pick to supposedly end the game with a field goal. That did not happen. Another field goal was missed, and the Panthers have out-falconed the Falcons. Hard to do, but it's better for your tank, maybe? The Cardinals, for what it's worth, look like a completely different team with DeAndre Hopkins. Now that Kyler Murray has his safety blanket back, the Cardinals offense is starting to churn up some real points. They kept neck and neck with the Minnesota Vikings, a Super Bowl contender team, for almost 4 quarters, until they fumbled the punt and ended the game on the spot. In order to beat the Vikings, one must not become the Vikings. The Cardinals did not adhere to this law. Justin Jefferson did his thing, Dalvin Cook did his thing, and Captain Kirk kept steering the ship in the right direction, and that was enough to pull off a huge win. But man, what if they didn't fumble that punt? This game would have been so different. I gotta say, the Bears did an incredible job of keeping up with the Cowboys for the most part. The problem is they forgot to take into account that Tony Pollard exists, and he absolutely slaughtered their entire defense for 60 straight minutes. And yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, Dak Prescott's back, he looks good, CD looks good, and Justin Fields is still in prison. The future is not bright per se, Chicago, but it could be worse. Really? 24-0? Really? I'm done with this team. I'm not wasting any more energy with them anymore. Well, the Eagles are still unstoppable and have no weaknesses whatsoever. This game felt like a senior stuffing a freshman into a locker and then repeatedly spitting on him through the crease until he finally gave in. This was not okay. AJ Brown just morally and physically demolished the Steelers for 60 straight minutes, and it wasn't even a contest. Can Kenny Pickett play against, like, the Lions or something so we can see him actually play against an easy defense? Maybe? No? Alright. Zach, Wilson is not a franchise quarterback. I don't care if it was the Patriots. Zach Wilson just makes plays that I've never seen on a football field. And that's not a good thing. I mean, just look at picks like this. Who throws these? But you are still 5-3 Jets, and the Patriots still keep their false hopes alive, I guess. Once again, you both should just be looking at the lottery, but who am I to judge?
That's too easy!
This game felt like it was straight out of the 1930s. I mean, the Titans completed 6 passes. And I mean, I guess that's fair enough when you have Derrick Henry, the Houston Texans killer, on your team. I've never seen one player own a franchise more than Derrick Henry owns the real estate of the Houston Texans. I mean, 32 carries for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns? God damn, Derrick! And although this score seems like it was a one-possession game, it was out of hand from the very beginning. Titans are winning that division pretty easily, huh? Now, if the Giants were going to lose their 6-1 record, good thing it was to Geno Smith, at least. We got to see that the Giants are pretty much nothing without Saquon Barkley, and if you can take him out of the equation, then you can take the Giants' offense out of the game. The defense still looked pretty good for the Giants for most of the game until they just could not hold up any longer. Tyler Lockett basically gave 2 possessions away, and the Seahawks still came up with a decisive victory. Could the Seahawks win their No. Maybe? No. Yep, this is why they can't win their division. This McCaffrey trade for the Niners probably is gonna pay off in hefty numbers, because with him, their offense has a whole new dimension that we've never seen before. I mean, the dude caught a touchdown, threw a touchdown, and rushed for a touchdown. Who does that? The 49ers just decisively beat the defending champion Rams again. This team, once again, as I've said before, is the scariest in the entire league.
Damn, boy!
This game was weird. For almost 57 minutes, it was an absolute snooze fest, with nothing happening, the battle between 2 backup quarterbacks who weren't supposed to see daylight this year. Until the Colts choked up a little bit and gave Washington a chance to steal a win late. And that's exactly what they did, as Stephon Gilmore, still in his elderly age, being an elite cornerback, was able to shut down Terry McLaurin for most of the game. But not on this one catch, because Terry McLaurin is a dog, regardless of his quarterback. This is a play that not all wide receivers in the league can make, and Terry McLaurin is one of the few. And Taylor Heineke was able to cash in the quarterback sneak for the win, and they didn't miss the extra point, winning the game. Take notes, Carolina. Regardless, the Colts are an organization that I feel like we're all just gonna forget exists by week 12. Matt Ryan is not the problem.
Oh yeah!
This game didn't prove much to me, other than if the Buffalo Bills aren't exactly in the Super Bowl, then I'm gonna be disappointed in them. I guess the shocking thing to people who aren't ready to accept it yet is that the Packers just aren't a very good team. They do still have a chance to squeak into the playoffs in a very weak NFC, but they're not winning the division or coming anywhere close to that. The run game just isn't enough, and without any good wide receivers, Aaron Rodgers has nobody to throw it to. And much like the Eagles, the Bills have absolutely no weaknesses, and they're just gonna keep destroying every team that goes against them. Speaking of destroying, wow. The Bengals are consistently one of the most inconsistent teams in the entire league, either lighting a team on fire or lighting themselves on fire and succumbing to their own burn wounds. The O-line just got shredded all game long by Myles Garrett and others, and it wasn't even a contest after the second quarter. To the Browns. It's time to smash the panic button right now, Bengals, because without Jamar Chase, you no longer have that bail you out factor on every single offensive possession. Things could get dark. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one, and I also got a video that I just put out on every NFL team's best moment, and you should go watch it. It's pretty good, trust me. Anyways, until next time.